Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor coming at you with another Bitcoin focused episode. And we recently had the US Core PCE Inflation Index, the personal consumption expenditures, get released today. Now, it held steady at 2.7% on a yearly basis in April. And the reason why this is important is because I said coming into this week that it could potentially be a catalyst for Bitcoin to move higher. However, that did not really materialize, as it pretty much came in as expected, in line with expectations. Now, Bitcoin, in the meantime, has been moving up and down, bouncing between levels. And one level I've been paying attention to here has been the 20-day EMA. I have it outlined here as this blue line right here. Now, Bitcoin went down, it touched this line, and then it seems to have popped back up again. So watch this line right here. Watch for the 20-day EMA and see if this holds. Now, if this level holds, then Bitcoin can push up and potentially make a run at 72K resistance. But the problem is, if it does not hold, then what you're looking at is much more likely a move all the way down to 65K. So the reason why this 65K region here is actually relevant is because in my last video, I talked about the Bitcoin options, and Bitcoin options, the max pain price, which according to the max pain theory has the max pain price act as kind of like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. So we had all those options expire on today, actually, and that's one of the reasons why we've seen Bitcoin kind of dip down a little bit, as these option buyers are drawn into that 65K region. So it's very possible that we wind up seeing Bitcoin approach 65 or get closer to that level if we lose this 20-day EMA support. Now, that being said, there's also some more things going on with traders right now I've got to talk to you guys about. So we talk about liquidations. Bitcoin liquidations today hit over $35 million in about 24 hours. Now, that's actually pretty significant. We haven't really seen a huge flush out of the longs. We haven't seen longs get destroyed in a little while now. Now we're starting to see this leverage get flushed out a little bit. If we take a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, we can see here that there is a massive liquidity level that we just passed through here at about 67,100. There's about $500 million worth of long liquidations that got liquidated. That's the reason why we see those liquidations at so high in the last 24 hours. Now, we also see there's another large liquidity level here at 66K. So if Bitcoin goes down to 66K, those liquidations are going to happen, and we're probably going to end up seeing the price move down to 65K and hopefully try to find some support at that region. Now, on the other side, there's really not a whole lot of liquidity on the bullish side for shorts. Now, this level right here at about 70,000, that's probably the largest level I've seen so far. If Bitcoin can hold on to that 20-day EMA, then we could actually see it push above to 70K and then potentially climb up to 72K off the backs of these short liquidations. So just be aware, Bitcoin is caught between two opposing forces right now, two major liquidity levels, and it tends to be drawn into either direction. So we'll have to see. We're going to wind up seeing some serious volatility coming into next week. Normally, during the weekend, we also see a little bit of a Sunday or Saturday pump. That's also possible that we get liquidations on that as well. Now, I also want to go ahead and talk about the long-short ratio. So the long-short ratio right now for Bitcoin, sitting mostly, when we look at 24 hours, shorts are winning right now. They are a larger number of shorts, $23 billion worth of shorts compared to longs, which is sitting at about $22.8 billion. You can go ahead and see here that on CoinGlass, they actually asked about the current Bitcoin sentiment, and mostly bearish right now, 38% compared to, and then 16% very bearish compared to just 9% very bullish and 16% bullish. So it seems like sentiment right now has turned kind of against the bulls. We look at the long-term and short-term, the long and short ratio charts here. We can see that, again, shorts have an advantage over the last couple of days. Shorts at 51%, longs at 48%. And so right now we're starting to see a little bit of a change in the sentiment right now for Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at our Bitcoin we look at our Bitcoin options for the expiry for next month, June 28th, we can see here that the max pain price for June 28th is 54,000. So again, taking into account the longs and the shorts for the Bitcoin options, that 54,000 is going to act as a magnet towards the end of the month, and the prices, according to max pain theory, will try to gravitate towards that level. But that being said, we take a look at that day on the 28th of June. We can see here that over $4 billion worth of call options are set to expire on that day. Now, this is much more than the number of puts. The number of puts only about 2 billion or so. Number of calls over double as much. So there are some options traders who actually do think that we'll wind up getting that 75K region or so for Bitcoin. Now, again, this is all predicated on the fact that Bitcoin can actually hold these support levels. Now, if Bitcoin holds these support levels, can we get 72K? Absolutely. Can we get up here at 75? It's definitely possible, but it's got to hold this vital support region right here between about 65 and currently where it is, or about 67,000. It has to hold those regions. And so far, again, we're still in the middle of an uptrend for the most part. You can kind of see the stair-step pattern here develop, and it needs to hold these levels. And if it doesn't, then we could wind up seeing those other levels I talked about, 65K and maybe even lower than that. So I'm going to try to keep you guys informed of the situation. Always follow me on X and Twitter or Threads, and also go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see the most up-to-date information. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Bitcoin short-term versus long-term supply. This is something that I've been paying attention to very closely because it gives you an idea of what the long-term holders have been up to. So right now, we actually saw the supply reach 77% of total supply for the long-term holders. And this is a significant level because if we back this out and we take a look at where it was last at this region, we have to go all the way back to 2021 for it to find a level in which it's been this low. All right, so September 3rd of 2021 was the last time we saw 77% of long-term holders holding 77% of the supply. So what this means is that long-term holders have been selling. They have been cashing in their positions, and they have been at a lower concentration than we've seen in the past 3 years. Now, again, I don't think this is time for a panic or anything, because usually when it comes to the bull market peaks, this is normally what we wind up seeing. We see the Bitcoin, the amount of long-term holders start and actually move much lower once we get into the bull market. And as soon as we hit the bull market top, it tends to hit a low in long-term holder supply. Like, for instance, in April 2021, it was down to a low of 66%. So the long-term holder supply still has a significant level to get to in order for it to point to a bullish top, about 10% or so. That's what we're looking at right now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Bitcoin ETFs. All right, Bitcoin ETFs, very important to point this out. May 30th, $50 million worth of total net inflows. Most of this is going to FBTC. It looks like they had $119 million worth of inflows for that day. And if we go ahead and take a look at the totality and we take a look at multiple days, we can actually see here that it's been sizable. The amount of inflows to Bitcoin have been sizable over the entire month of May, starting out here from about the 2nd of May all the way to where we are right now, or where the data goes up to about the 29th or so of May. We've seen mostly just net inflows into these Bitcoin spot ETFs. So while traders may be kind of bearish on Bitcoin, we're still seeing a number of investors buying the Bitcoin ETFs themselves, and that could actually still buoy the price. So that's something to keep in mind. There's a lot of data going on right now. There's a lot of volatility for Bitcoin, and there's a lot of eyes sitting on these charts just waiting to see what's going to happen and whether or not Bitcoin will hold those support levels. And again, I will put out more information as I get it, and more information as it's relevant to you guys. I will put out those videos, and I will go ahead and post them on X as well. My thoughts on the market. Usually I do a daily chart TA. Check me out on there if you guys are interested in that. But that's all I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you think that it's relevant for us to be talking about this 20-day moving average or the Bitcoin options, if you guys actually like that, or you don't want to hear about PCE inflation, for instance, leave a comment below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.